this game often felt like it was who could capitalize on whose mistake first, right? And that's exactly what happened. Again, we talked about pulling the defenders out. These defenders were not prepared for that. The ball was not in front of them. They're running backwards towards their own goal. And when you do that and you have Chewinga on your team, it's not going to end up well for them.
What is going on, party people? It's another victory pod with Currently on No Other Pod, part of KC Sports Network. Daniel Kooser here with Chris Wright. Baby, Chris, talk to me. What's going on, man?
It's not just another victory. It's a victory against the Orlando almost said Magic. What am I thinking? What the fuck? I grew up being a Penny Hardaway fan. I don't know. Good Lord.
But fantastic.
Oh my goodness. But
what a time. Back in the win column, baby. We're back.
Yeah, it's lovely. Beautiful.
It feels good. If you live under a rock, KC Current got a crazy 1-0 away victory over their kind of league rivals it's starting to be, since these two teams tend to be at the top for the last 2 years. Orlando Pride, man. Orlando Magic Pride. They got the job done, man, and it feels good to get back to winning on the road again. I say got back to winning ways. We won on Mother's Day, but it feels different when you're on the road, man. It's a different energy.
Yeah, I mean, not only that, you talked about becoming a bit of a rivalry, man. Like, we're competing in the playoffs. You have that the home game that we lost last year where Marta was celebrating, and we took that personally. That kind of like that Michael Jordan meme, and I took that personally. Which is how Sharples, felt coming into this game. Played like an absolute menace. But yeah, man, this is becoming a very fun rivalry.
It certainly is, dude. It certainly is. I had a ball on Friday night. I ordered some pizza for the occasion, had some friends over. They didn't give a shit about soccer, but I made them watch. And
I mean, you may even give a shit. It's the best you could.
I was like, okay, let me tell you guys the storylines here. Like, I had to break it down. It's kind of like someone coming over to watch WWE or something.
I was about to say that. Yeah. You're trying to you're trying to show them the video packages, get them hyped up.
I'm like, let me break it down for you. Kayla Sharples last year, huge mistake. Won't happen again in this game. I'll tell you that. And boy, didn't it. Like, we got some times. We got lady of the match recognition. It's crazy, man. But first of all, we got some odd job things to talk about that we missed. Some news that broke immediately after we recorded last week.
Time
it happens, bro. I don't know why we record on Tuesday morning. We ought to just record on Tuesday night or a Wednesday morning, because everything drops on Tuesday around noon.
But nobody has any idea how many times we hop off and 30 minutes later, boom, we just whatever we're talking about is outdated right out the gate.
Pretty weird. Yeah. And I mean, we're not going to come on here and re-record the podcast, because you can't like replicate greatness. You know what I mean? When you put out these prestigious podcasts, you can't do it.
It's a one-shot deal. You just let it die.
One and done. I'm not interested in any mediocre around here. But some things that happen, man. Guess who's back, baby? Debinha back in the conversation for the Brazil women's national team, along with Lorena. Not as much fanfare there, because she's kind of been a stalwart and just key player in that team. But Debinha's been left out of the conversation for a minute, and they're finally like, oh, you're doing good things? Oh, we didn't know. I guess we'll call you in finally. So congrats to Debinha and Lorena, man, getting called up to Brazil.
Very, very well deserved. And a lot of people that think Debinha is leading the MVP charge right now, so
dude, yeah,
I'm trying not to get too excited about it, but it's definitely, as the season progresses, something to kind of keep in the back of your mind.
It's been a year since she's been called up. She got called up last in May of last year. Like, that's weird, right?
You can't tell me there are better players on that Brazilian team than Debinha. And that's not a knock on any other players. That's just, there's not enough people that could push her out of that squad.
I know. I'm like, did she Did she talk back to somebody and they're like, oh, she's difficult, we're not calling her in? Like, I don't know. Something must have happened, because based on talent alone, why is this? I don't know. But she's back, and she gets to play against Japan on Friday, May 30th. So that's exciting. And then against Japan again, Monday, June 2nd. Very exciting stuff.
Two really good teams, by the way. Japan, yeah, they're fantastic. They've come on really strong lately, so should be a good game.
Their women's squad has been phenomenal. Yeah. Also, if we're just staying in the call-up conversation, Mary Long and Katie Scott were called up to the US U20 women's national team. These are some gals who are getting some international recognition here, some national team recognition. Like, they're always in this lineup. They're always called into this roster. I mean, tell me it's a bad deal. We haven't seen a lot of Katie Scott, right? But we've seen Mary Long on the field occasionally.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it all goes back to look who's in front of them, right? Like, there's not many players on this planet who will get a starting role over the players that are currently in front of them. So, I mean, there's no shame in that at all. And to be able to train and learn in Kansas City under all those players and then get called up, I mean, they're young, right? It's building blocks. They're learning, and it's going to be a lot of fun to kind of see how they progress over time.
Now, this is for the 2025 CONCACAF Women's U20 Championship. It's a little round-robin play with 2 groups of 4 teams each. So it's just 8 teams. But I think this serves as a qualifier for the expanded 2026 next year FIFA U20 World Cup in Poland. What a time. These young players, I mean, they get to go to Costa Rica for this little round-robin thing, by the way, and then potentially be involved in the Polish World Cup next year. That's pretty cool.
Man, what a fun way to travel, by the way.
Oh, yeah. I mean, not like you get to do anything super fun, though. I mean, you are working. You know what I mean? You're there. It's a business trip, right?
You're focused, but God, that's still so much fun, and especially as young players, man. That's kind of living the dream type of
Very much so. It's pretty cool, man. So congrats to Long and Scott there. They got rookie deals with us, so cool to see them getting. Now, we do know, like, NWSL takes breaks for international breaks, man. So that's exciting stuff. I'm pumped for that. We don't have to be without Dabinia and Lorena, you know.
Yep.
A couple more tidbits here. Casey Current announces a partnership with Pitchside Coffee, and I got to tell you, I've been drinking pitch. Here you go. Record this. It's an ad for Pitchside Coffee. No, I've been drinking this daily, by the way. I'm enjoying it, man. It's a nice little game day roast. It's good stuff.
Yeah, I honestly did not know that, so I'll have to grab some and check it out.
It's all about the beans, baby. It's good. It's pretty yummy. I thought they kind of had a partnership because I think their trailer has been like inside the stadium. But I think it was
now unofficially official kind of a thing versus
maybe trying it out, seeing if people lined up for it. And I got to tell you, they did. It was like, whoa, that's a long line. Longer than Yoli Tortilleria over there. But it's pretty cool, man. As we know, Pitchside Coffee was founded by Elizabeth Ball, Vanessa DiBernardo, Kristen Hamilton, Haley Mace, Desiree Scott, and Mallory Weber. Some of those players aren't with KC anymore, but most of them are. So it's pretty neat.
Cool. Excuse me. You know what was pretty cool is when we interviewed Ball, she mentioned that before I heard it on our pod, before I heard it anywhere else. And it might have been out there. That was the first I've ever heard of it. So that was really cool to see her, kind of drop that here and then kind of where it's at today. That was really cool.
We broke news. That's how we do it. Now I remember her being excited about that. I'm like, oh, we'll have to check that out. Now look at it. It's a stadium thing, dude. And also cool for the ownership and management to support little side hustles. To be, they're not like, we don't want any part of your side hustle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like other companies would like not do that. So it's pretty cool to support little ventures like that.
Well, they see that it's organic growth as well. It's not just like manufactured, we're just going to put them in there and let them make money or whatever. Like they've been doing this for a little while prior to even having that sponsorship. And they're constantly out, doing their thing throughout Kansas City. So, and
they're having fun doing it. Like I'm seeing little videos. I'm like, what is going on? This is goofy.
During the NWSL championship, during all the festivities prior to the game, they were all out there with a lot of Kansas City Current players were out there just kind of meeting and greeting with fans. And Kate Delfava was in town, and she was helping take orders. So it was, I don't know, it was just a lot of fun to see them interact with the fans that way.
I just love this team, dude. You do not see anybody anywhere having as much fun as these women are together. I love it.
When they're having fun, we're having fun.
Oh, for sure. Shifting gears here, Claire Hutton earned KC Current's nomination for the NWSL Lauren Holiday Impact Award. That's pretty cool, man. If you win, if the winner wins, there's a cash award, right, for for a charitable organization of their choice. That's right, $50K to a charity. That's pretty cool.
Well, Victoria Pickett won it a while ago for Kansas City. I don't know if you remember that.
That's right. And Claire's actually the youngest of every nominee. Every team has a nominee. It's very, very similar to a Walter Payton Award in football, stuff like that.
Right.
But Claire's working on she's working with Mind Drive as the community partner, and it's a KC-based organization that provides hands-on project-based learning programs in STEM fields for high school students. So there you go. Pretty cool, man. I saw a video about how this was announced to her, and it was I think it was her mom, at her home. It was a video of her mom, and the team was just in the theater room or whatever, studying film and scouting players for the next game. And then boom, there's Claire's mom, and it's what the fuck? So kind of cool.
Yeah, getting started when they're young, man. Just being part of the community and making a difference and impact. It's really cool to see.
Yeah, and we don't know the winner until the weekend of the final, right? This comes out similar to Walter Payton, isn't that Super Bowl week type stuff?
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be fan voting and all that stuff as well. So once that comes out, I'll have to hop on it.
For sure. Hey, let's take our first break here, and we'll come back and talk about this historic road win. Stay right there.
Shop Chiefs tickets and more with no fees. Plus, save big with code KCSN at ticketsforless.com, the official ticket provider of KC Sports Network.
Success in real estate takes more than vision. It takes the right financial partner. When someone takes something rundown and turns it into something great, that's called a comeback story, like Brain Group. They take distressed properties here in KC, completely rework them, and then turn them into valuable real estate. But that kind of work needs the right bank behind it. Enter Emprise Bank. They're not about cookie-cutter loans. They saw Brain Group's vision, backed them, and now they're making big moves in Kansas City real estate. Talk about your partner in possible. Emprise doesn't do one-size-fits-all financing. They invest in potential and back growth. Visit emprisebank.com/KC to learn more. Emprise Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
It's playoff time, and if you're still just watching games, then you're missing out. With Pick 6 from DraftKings, you can turn your hoops knowledge into real cash. Just make your picks, track your score, and if you hit all 6, you're looking at bigger payouts than Prize Picks Flex Plays. Nobody's dropping better payouts than Pick 6. Hit 6 picks, and that's 25 times your cash. And if you beat your competitor, you could be looking at a 500 times bag in your pocket. And right now, new customers get $50 in bonus picks with just a $5 entry. The playoffs are on, so why not take a shot at making a little money while you're watching? Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app right now and use code KCSN. That's code KCSN to play $5 and get $50 in bonus picks. Better payouts, bigger wins, only on Pick 6 from DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org in Connecticut. Must be 18 plus. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Pick 6 not available everywhere, including New York and Ontario. Void where prohibited. One per new customer. Bonus awarded as non-withdrawable Pick 6 bonus picks that expire in 14 days. Limited time offer. Terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos.
Buddy, I told Jimmy yesterday, but I did it again, and I got myself in another summer musical. Okay, the lead of Groundhog Day. No big deal. Don't congratulate me. It's fine. I gotta tell you, here's the deal, bro. I don't have to miss a single home KC Current game for anything, and that
awesome.
excites me. Yeah.
Usually you have to miss a few here and there.
I know. I will say I do have to miss one because I'm in a murder mystery, and it's not for the musical. It's for this murder mystery thing that I'm in. So whatever. But I'm excited. Come see Groundhog Day at Topeka Civic Theater this summer. Good times. You'll be there. I know you will.
I'll be there. I'll be there. Maybe we can cohorse, Nick and to go in as well again.
Did you say cohorse? Because that's a fun word. I'm not sure how it's pronounced though.
Cohorse? Yeah.
Coerce? Something like that.
Yeah.
But I think of cohorse, and I'm like, I'm a horse, and this is my cohorse.
I'm blaming it on my my throat right now, my voice. Yeah.
Oh man, you just stop kissing all them ladies and stop getting sick.
I think I just had one coworker who comes over and talks. Like it was one of those.
I don't like that, by the way. If people are sick, get the hell out of my cubicle.
I don't even know why they're in the office if they're sick.
Why are you even coming to my cubicle? Message me on Teams. What are you doing? You know what I mean? We don't have to be face to face, and you didn't have to come in. It's a whole other story.
I can't say that for certain. So if the individual listens, I'm not blaming you. I'm just saying.
That person's like,
I don't know for sure where I got it.
Office in general, man. Gross. It's just like you never know. You're like, screw that guy. He's got bad cough. I'm out of here.
Yeah. You look sickly. Stay away.
Dude. Okay. Friday has come and gone. It was a prime video matchup, and the you didn't have to do anything to get up for this game. You didn't have to do anything to get excited. You didn't have to watch little highlight packages. You know the drill. You know this. You know the score. First place is on the line here. You know what I mean? It's you and I think we're hoping for a draw, and for a while here, I thought like. These are two really good defensive teams, and these are two really good offensive teams. And is it going to be 3-3 or is it going to be 0-0? And for a while, I thought it was going to be the latter. I thought it was going to be 0-0. What were you thinking?
I'm 0-0. Yeah, I mean, they're both two very tactically sound teams, two really good coaches who, are not going to take the risks that they typically would against any other team because they know that the moment they take that risk, they make a mistake, the other team is pouncing. Banda, Chwinga, whomever, they're going to make you pay. So, it was a chess match, it was not this kind of open, flow of the game. I think that most fans wanted to see, but for us in Orlando, we're probably just holding our breath the entire game.
Yeah, a little bit. There were moments, there were scary moments, big moments from Lorena. Here's something to note. Just last week, we mentioned on here, man, when are we going to see Ellie Wheeler back in the starting lineup? Like, because Haley Mace is really locking down that right back spot. Vlatko listens to us, and he's like, these guys are right. Like, it just makes sense. I need to get Ellie in there some way.
He's taking practical advice from us. I mean, it's okay.
I get it, Vlatko. I love you, sir.
Nothing wrong with that.
But, like, Ellie Wheeler up in the right wing position, man. We forget that that's where she's also comfortable at. She can play a little right back, but also right wing is also very comfortable for this lady. So great to see her back in there, man. I got to tell you, we were just wondering, will it happen? And right away, there we go.
I mean, I think there's two pieces to that. Like, obviously, you want to get her on the field, right? If you can, because she's good. You don't want to have a player of her caliber and energy and talent on the bench, but also with speed. But also with, Prince, she was kind of coming off of an injury for a little while. It was, kind of lingering. She got in last week and again later this game. But it just kind of felt like that was also a injury play as well, just to get somebody who's comfortable up there. And we'll just bring that constant energy, constant pressure and pace.
Absolutely, dude. I got to tell you, it got a little scary in the first minute of this game. Like, we made a really bad back pass and Barbara Banda just took it. And I was like, oh no. And it's just,
I think, I think it was Izzy. I think it was Izzy. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. And luckily, Lorena's right there, gets big and shuts it down. But that could have been very dangerous. That could have been a horrible way to start this game.
Do you think Vlatko was about to have a heart attack right there? Like, you do all this preparation and planning and keep everything in front of you and just this tactical masterpiece he's trying to put out there. Then you have Izzy pass the ball across the center of the pitch. Like,
I do. I think that was, if you're going to make a mistake in the game, I think Izzy's probably happy it was in that first minute and is like, woo, okay. If there were any jitters, like I got that out of my system. Let's get serious.
I think that goes to show you too, like the team was like, all right, no more chances, like, no, we're not doing that again.
Yeah. But they, like you said before, this was kind of tactical, man. We were kind of all over the place. Haley Mace made some great interceptions again, because that's all Haley Mace does. But we were passing the ball around. They were passing the ball around. It was just, who's going to break through first, man. It was just trying to move things around. From a score standpoint, boring. You're like, okay, there's no goals. There's no fun stuff happening. But from like a strategy standpoint, you're like, okay, what are we doing here? We're moving their defenders around, seeing where we can break through. And that was exciting.
I mean, that's what I think that was one of the cases that we made last week, was how can you get that back line to move around? How can we get them to get off of their spot and out of their lines? And it looks like that's what they were trying to do.
100%. We were finding our wings in good positions, dude. Ellie Wheeler was making decent crosses over there from that right side. Bia was very much involved as well, like trying to get some headers on goal. She's just tall too, man. She just towers over everybody. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
But about 30 minutes into this thing, like, did you know that KC Current has not conceded in the first 30 minutes of any match this season?
I did not. That's a beautiful stat.
That's pretty dope. If you can get through a third of the game not conceding a goal, because you break the game up into thirds like that, right? Those first 30, you're like, okay, we're feeling stuff out. That last 15 to first 15 of the second half, it's like, how are you going to close this out? How are you going to start the half? And then that last 30 is like, boom, do we have the energy to get this done? It's insane. When I saw that, I was like, damn, is that true? Like I guess it has to be, or they wouldn't have put it on the screen.
That really goes to show the preparation too, right? Like last year, we had a lot of times they scored quickly, and everything you started just kind of went to shit. Every planning, every little bit of tactical discussion, all of it just went out the window. So the fact that they can continue to do that shows that they're planning really well, they're preparing, and they're executing, quite well in the first 30.
No, absolutely. I mean, because if you get scored on first, dude, now you're chasing the damn thing.
Yeah.
Now you're in trouble, and you certainly weren't planning for that. But I do like that we weren't overly risky in this game. We weren't like taking these insane risks, because we're away from home, man. They got their fans cheering, and their fans get loud.
They're good at home too. They're a really good home team as well.
Really good home team. Despite not having like a full stadium like CPKC is, their fans get loud. Also, that's no knock on them. Their stadium it's a men's stadium, so it holds more. You know what I mean? So they do not fill it up. But this, man, we broke through. What was it, in the 52nd minute?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Stuff was just bobbled, bro. Like they had the ball. We kind of got it back. They blooped it back to their defenders, and it took a bounce, and Chawinga's right there. Chawinga's right there and puts it away. And it's just good to see her get her another goal. Last week we were like, hey, I'm glad she's back in scoring form, and 2 games in a row, she's back at it.
Do you feel like she's the boogeyman for a defender? Like 1 minute, like she just appears, and then she's on your ass, and then she has the ball. Because credit to Izzy, by the way, because Izzy's the one who, it's not going to count as an assist, but she's the one who put that ball and just try to, find her in space. And that defender, I don't know what she was thinking. She kind of needed
She's trying to get it away from Bia, because Bia's on her tail. Yeah. But guess who's on her left flank? Chawinga's just coming through, surpassing Bia,
And that acceleration, by the way, it was like you're playing FIFA and you hit sprint. She just shot out like a cannon. Really accelerated that last moment. And what I thought was kind of impressive on the finish is she didn't take a touch, then shoot it. It was just a first timer.
That's how it has to be in those situations, though.
Yeah.
And that defender, I know, just was trying to settle that ball and be calm and collected, but it just was a very heavy touch with her knee. And just, what are you going to do? It's unfortunate.
whenever you see defenders, just get rid of the ball and they go out of bounds or maybe concede a corner or whatever, and then you're kind of like, why did you do that? This is why defenders who play against Chewinga just get rid of it. They don't mess with it. They just want to get their players in front of the ball. They don't mess around. They just put it out of bounds. And I guarantee you that's exactly what she's thinking she should have done. I don't. It was, this game often felt like it was a, who could capitalize on whose mistake first, right? And that's exactly what happened. Again, we talked about pulling the defenders out. These defenders were not prepared for that. The ball was not in front of them. They're running backwards towards their own goal. And when you do that and you have Chewinga on your team, it's not going to end up well for them.
Bro, there was also a moment like Chewinga had a blast later on. It was like right at the keeper, but like Bia like hits it with her shoulder. And at first I was like, was that a handball? Like she just hit it with like her bicep or something? But no, I think it was very much like part of her chest, which was just awesome because she was like falling down and hits it. And Chewinga, like, I think she did the old Chris Wright outside of the boot situation right at the keeper, though. Now, this keeper's great because Chewinga had other things, other chances, but she keeps kicking it right at the keeper. Like, I watched these highlights over and over, and the keeper just had to, like, put her knees together one time. It was insane. Like, she just, boom, off her knees. And I'm like, there's so much open space, Chewinga. Oh, my God, it's driving me nuts.
I think she just went for the power. It's like, just went for that power shot and hoping that was enough to get past the keeper. But there's a couple of them when, it was kind of right at her and a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right. And I don't see how that keeper makes that save just due to the pace. But, she was really effective this game.
Yeah. DiBernardo tried to hit the back post at one point, and so that was kind of cool. I'm like, okay, Vanessa, get involved. I will say, if you're playing a drinking game, drink every time Teal Man is on the screen. You know what's going to happen, though? You might have to go to the hospital because the man was on TV. Like, they made us a meal out of this. The story behind this guy, I mean, they showed a whole segment. And I think KC Current or maybe NWSL flew him out there to like be a part of this because the camera just focused on him, Also, I gotta say something. What are those little pouches called in front of a kilt? It's called something. What is that?
I don't know. My mind just goes fanny pack, but I know what you're talking about. It's not a fanny pack. It's something different.
It's called a sporin. It's called a sporin. And I gotta tell you, what's the clear bag policy around here? That's all I thought about. I was like, not a clear bag. It's not a clear bag. Who's inspecting this man?
Anyway, through security.
It was funny though, because the moment the final whistle blew, you know where that camera went? Teal Man.
I mean, what a way to, I don't know, a wild ride for him. Let me just put it
He's a mascot. I mean, why is the team not just hiring him as their mascot to run the sidelines, pumping up fans, just whatever, gotta pump it up, whatever, dude, just get nuts.
The fact that he had an NWSL segment, I was on like NWSL's Soccer's and Media, like they had a segment, him at home, traveling, meeting people, meeting fans.
It was a segment.
Wow.
Now, we know what it's like. Like, you and I could go to games in the media box. We could go up there and see a game for free. That's not fun for us. Plus, we like to support the club. I also am like, I'm sure he wants to support the club, but get him on the payroll and get him on the field, dude. Just get him pumping people up because he's a cultural phenomenon right now. I mean, the fact that they do these little segments on what it takes to paint his damn head and get the beard all sparkly, he's a cultural phenomenon.
No, I completely agree. I know you and I, and we like to watch the game with our partners and support the team financially. So that's our preference. But yeah, I mean, I just can't imagine how much time it takes to do that game in and game out to prepare and get ready.
I think he has said that, and I'm like, man, maybe we need to have him on here in his full regalia, dude. Like, I don't want to talk to the regular guy. I don't know who that is. I don't need to talk to your street name. Okay. Your government name. I need the teal man, you know?
It's like you're a character, right? Like I want to talk to The Rock, not Dwayne Johnson.
I don't want Dwayne Johnson on here.
No.
Give me the candy ass Rock. Okay. Jimmy and I literally said candy ass yesterday. This is crazy. Everything's overlapping in my podcast. I can't keep it straight.
And I'm curious how long it takes to get that stuff off. Like when you take a shower, do you just see blue just flood down the drain? I mean, like, I don't know.
Okay,
red?
We got to move on because we've given him more screen time than the TV did. Dude, my biggest complaint about this match, you ready for it? 12 minutes of stoppage time. 12. I saw it and I go, sweet Mother Mary. This is bad. This is really bad. And I just kept saying to myself, something's going to happen. They're going to tie this game. We might even lose this game. I mean, they're coming, dude. And we're not having much offense in those 12 minutes. And they're getting corner kicks. And Kayla Sharples is playing her ass off, bro. Kayla Sharples came to KC last year, and she is KC already. She is. She bleeds for this city, and she ain't even from here and hasn't even been playing here for a year. I love this person, dude. Kayla just played her heart off. It was crazy.
I mean, that goes to show the culture this team has, though, right? And to me, I'm not trying to go off topic, but Lowe sets the standard for the passion for this city with this team. And
she's also a medical supervisor, apparently. When Chewinga went down, she went over there and was like dabbing her forehead and shit.
That wouldn't surprise me if she's like, taking classes to figure out how to help her teammates there. It
was amazing. She carried her off the field.
Yeah. I mean, that slide tackle, by the way, she was pissed. She watched film. She came in super prepared. She was not going to let what happened last year happen again. She got her revenge.
Bro, she tackled it was like in the box, right? And everyone's like, penalty. And then they see the replay and everyone shut the hell up because it was not a penalty. It was so clean. You usually get up for goals. You just get rock solid for goals, dude. You get excited. And I get excited for tackles in the box that are clean. Like I was just like, yes, Kayla. Heck yeah. Like I was pumped. She was awesome.
You know what it felt like too, like going back to your 12 minutes, it felt like the league was wanting an equalizer a little bit. Like they were wanting that equalizer because that would be, talk of the league, two top teams.
The league is rigged. I get it.
Yeah. And, but man, the fact that they could hold out 12 minutes of extra time just gives all the credit to that defense. And, the somber piece of this whole game is we had a couple of injuries. So, I mean, we can talk on that here shortly. If you want to do that, we can go to break real quick and
kick it to break. Do it. Kick it to break, Chris.
Go to break, Nick. Go to break.
Thanks for listening to KC Sports Network. Make sure you download our new app. Find it on the App Store or Google Play. Just search KC Sports Network.
So I think my lawn guy is here, turning on our sprinklers for the year. Something in the city, it's like a city ordinance. You have to have them like all the air blown out of the pipes or something before you turn them on. And it's a whole thing. You can't just turn them on yourself. It's weird. Who knew? And I just like heard my sprinklers turn on. I was like, what's happening? Cool. Dude, the game ends 1-0. I don't even care about the score. You're thinking 1-0, what a boring game. I don't care. I care about first place, and that's where we are. And I also think, oh, wait, we've given up 6 points as well. We could be 10 points ahead of these fools, and we're not. We're 4 points ahead. But that's something, dude, because Orlando dropped to third place, bro. In fact, in a 3-way tie for third place. And we're sitting there 4 points above San Diego. Which, hey, okay, we see you, San Diego, being better than last year. Look at you.
Yeah, it was really cool too. Look at the teams who are in the top 6. You have, obviously we're first. You have San Diego, Orlando, Portland, Washington, Reign. We played them all, right? We beat San Diego in San Diego, beat Orlando in Orlando, beat Portland at home, beat Washington in Washington, lost to the Reign, by the way, who are now 6th. So let's take a moment to, that loss doesn't look as bad now.
Yeah.
They've
been putting together some performances.
They have 14 points. They're sitting in 6th place, and then the Courage are tied for 8th with 12 points. They're technically in 9th with due to the goal difference, but those 2 losses don't look as bad now. And going back and watching those, they should have not been losses. That's the frustrating bit. But they don't look as bad now. But man, I want to real quickly go back and touch on those injuries, because Cook going down in the 62nd minute, man, that looked bad.
That sucks.
That really hurts.
Elizabeth Ball had to come on.
And man, we just don't know anything about Cook, Dabinia, or Chawinga at this time, which...
Yep. Chawinga came out at the very end, man. Our girl Nichelle Prince had to come on and, try to get the job done. And Haley Hopkins came on for Bia, really trying to take our attackers off and really look for a more stalwart defensive performance, to see that game out.
Well, I do like that Bia was in for 89 minutes, by the way. Like, that's the longest she's played all year. So I love the fact that she's basically 90 now. But yeah, I'm kind of curious how they're going to approach this next week with, some of those players being out. Obviously, we got quality depth, but you never want to see those players, get hurt. We're playing Chicago, who is bottom of the table and bad at that. So that might give us some reprieve a little bit. But
yeah,
man, you never want to see it happen. Yeah.
But, you show up to play the big teams, man. You really want to play your best, so you really can't take them for granted. You do need to go in there and put the best lineup on the field. Claire Hutton didn't get hurt, did she?
No.
Okay, so she just came out in the 62nd. DiBernardo came in for her. So, interesting. We'll see what happens, man. But that's the biggest game of the year so far. That's the biggest win for us. It just feels like it matters more. Those head-to-head matchups do matter more as the season goes on. And they won't like being in third, Orlando. They're going to be like, listen, we know we should be up there with KC. Like, let's get it together. Where did we go wrong? Let's rebuild, that kind of thing. But we got to look forward, and guess what? Last week, we didn't have stuff from Chip, but we got stuff this week, dude. And I want to read it to you right now. So here we go. Chip shot. Chip says, cheers to the victors, and the only match that had 0 cards all Saturday. Seriously, 0 cards. Not even a birthday card. Not even a business card. Nothing. 0 cards. For a game that was as spicy as it was, this one definitely felt like it got out of hand. But a 1-0 win at Orlando feels good. Not sure if 3 points counts as a carry-on or you have to check that in a bag, but we're coming home with all 3. In a game that was sure to not disappoint, this match felt significant from kickoff, especially considering both clubs' trajectories. Again, being another week without Michelle Cooper stings, but we are left in the capable hands of Bia, Chawinga, and Dabinia. We also get to see Haley Hopkins, albeit for 2 minutes. I had to go back and check in the highlights online, but the pre-match display of the squad had Wheeler playing up top with Bia and Chawinga, so I had to stop and wonder if Vlatko had some masterwork plan. As for the match, the Current handed the Orlando Pride their second home loss of the 2025 campaign. The other home loss Orlando had? A 0-1 loss against the Washington Spirit in mid-April. But especially for a Pride team that came into the game averaging 2.75 goals per game while at home, keeping Orlando goalless is not something easily done. Lorena had several good saves, being served Orlando's 1.2 XG and giving them nothing in return. Especially with Banda taking 5 rips on goal, 1 on target, we know she is hungry for goals. Interesting for the stat line, though, Marta ended the game with 0 shots and all 90 minutes played. An uncharacteristic performance for someone who has the 3rd most shots of anyone on the team this season at 13, following Banda with 36 shots and Ali Watt with 14. She has only been held to 0 shots 2 other times this year, once against San Diego and once against Seattle. Chawinga getting on the board with that beautiful one-touch makes it the 2nd match in a row with a Chawinga goal and has 2 of our players tied for 2nd in the Golden Boot race at the time of writing. Both Dabinia and Chawinga have 5 goals on the season, but so do Riley Tiernan from Angel City and Ashley Hatch from the Spirit. Gotham's Esther Gonzalez is leading the pack with 7 goals, but there's still time for us to catch up. Also, one of the goals Gonzalez got was a PK, so I'm choosing to not count that one. But after Chawinga having a couple games without a goal, seeing her go 4 shots, 3 on target, and a combined 0.5 XG in 88 minutes feels good. Both her and Bia up top combining for 0.7 of our 1.0 XG gives me confidence in the attack. All in all, it feels weird to have the Current win a game by 1 goal, something we haven't done since November of 2024 when we beat the North Carolina Courage 1-0. But we move on to our next match away at the Chicago Stars this next weekend. Chicago is struggling a bit at the bottom of the table with only 1 win and 4 points on the season. But if the North Carolina game is any indicator, we cannot walk into these games thinking we're hot stuff. We can get humbled, and quickly. Chicago is sitting at 0.2 points per game in their last 5, compared to the Current's 1.8. Chicago has yet to do anything but lose at home this year, rocking a 0-0-4 record. 0.75 goals scored per game and 2.25 goals allowed per game while at home, the worst goal differential while at home of any team in the league. I'm sure Chris will say this at some point if he hasn't already, but this has the makings of another trap game. He had to say it.
I like it. I like it.
Hey, man, it's going to be tough. I mean, it's another away game for us, but bottom of the league, you should be able to take care of this.
I mean, North Carolina is definitely better than Chicago, in terms of when we played them when they're the bottom. But I don't see it being a trap game, but, with our injuries, maybe it could be. Also, this is our third road game, back to back, but they just don't have anybody good on their team. And like Chip mentioned, and I love his chip shots, but, like you mentioned, 0-4, at home, they're just absolutely abysmal. And it's hard to see them overcoming that against us. I just don't see them having the firepower that North Carolina did when we played them. They are almost statistically at the bottom in every single impactful metric. So I think we just got to go execute. We got to show up, stay focused, execute, not make any mistakes, and I think we'll be okay.
Hit him hard, man. Maybe we see Michelle Cooper getting fit again. Maybe we get her back in the mix. I'll be interested to see if Chewinga and Dabinia are good, man. That's a pair. Losing 1 sucks. I like them both on the field. Losing 2, ooh-wee. I don't like that at all.
Well, we saw what they, during our 2 road losses, they were not really on the field at the same time. They're often coming in for each other, and that was clearly, we were not the same team. So obviously we don't know what Dabinia's injury is, or Chewinga's is more of an ongoing thing. I think she came out to, wrap the game up, but I don't know what Cook's going to look like, man. I'm really concerned about that one, but kind of makes me wonder where, oh man. Or the defender, the one who had the torn ACL. Why am I blanking on that?
Who's defender? Ours?
Yeah.
Uh,
Robinson. Jesus.
Yeah.
Gabby Robinson.
Gabby.
Kind of makes me wonder where she's at in her rehab process. Can't believe I blanked on that. Yeah, kind of makes me wonder where she's at in this process.
It's that thing, man. When someone's away for a bit, you can tend to forget about them. And let's not forget, she was having an outstanding season before that injury. So maybe she's making some strides to get back, man.
This is why you have ball. This is why you have ball on your team too. This is why you keep her.
Absolutely. She's here to help with shutouts and to serve you coffee, pitch side coffee. I'm excited for this one. I'll be out at Children's Mercy Park around that time when it kicks off, so I'll have it on my phone. Sporting starts an hour later, I believe, so I'll just be out there watching this game, man. It'll be good. We do forget, we don't forget. I mean, Alyssa Nair is their goalkeeper, so that's tough to get by, but also they've let in a lot of goals because Alyssa Nair has no help.
19 goals, man. They've given up
defenders.
They've given up the most goals of anybody all year so far. 19.
That's
bad.
It's not. Well, it's not great. Negative 14, negative 14 differential to our positive 13 goal differential is nothing to scoff at, man. I love this. I love that we've allowed the least goals in the league at 6. That wasn't the case last year around this time. We were, having 4-3 barn burner games, and it feels good to, sometimes a 1-0 win just works, dude. Just gets the job done. And how great that Chewinga and Dabinya are firing to be in that Golden Boot MVP conversation. Moving down the line here, coming into like a summer break. We're firing on all cylinders, man. It almost sucks that we got to take a break, you know. But with injuries piling up, maybe that's a good thing.
Yeah, and then after this game, there's a week in between, if I remember correctly.
I think you're right.
So that would really give us an advantage there in terms of trying to get our players back.
Oh yeah, 100%. That would mean that why is there a week in between? Because the international break? Yes, the international break. Duh. Because then we'll come back and play Gotham. So it's like, hey, scratch out these points, get it on the road. I don't even care if it's got to be a draw. I hope it's not a draw. I hope we whoop that ass. But I know having another break after this gets people healthy to have yet another away game against a really good Gotham team on June 7th.
At least we don't have to travel like in a short period of time. You know, it almost kind of feels like the start of a road trip in a way, right? I got to go home, rest, relax, get healthy, then go and then come back to home. So hopefully, you know, we might see Cooper against Gotham or Racing. Obviously, we don't know, but I'm really hoping we hear some news on, you know, Chewinga, Dabinya, and Cook.
Mm-hmm. Well, and looking ahead, you know, we'll close out June with 2 games at home. And then you take all the rest of June off and all of July off. So that'll be, we just got to really dig deep here, man, for these last 4 games before the big break. And I think we can do it, man. I feel pretty confident here.
Well, those last 4, as you mentioned, you know, obviously Chicago, Gotham, Racing, and then Angel City. And then we have, you know, a little over a month break, but, you know, between them, or after that, rather. Chicago obviously is the worst team in the league. Gotham's, you know, they're kind of middle of the pack, but they're dangerous. You know, they're 8th, kind of on that playoff bubble. You know, Racing, they're 11th out of 14 teams in the league. So, but they're kind of tricky too. They're definitely a trap game in my mind. And then Angel City is actually playing quite well. So it's.
Well, did you know Lorena leads the league with 5 clean sheets?
I did actually, and that's absolutely fantastic.
Pretty dope. And if you're a defender, you want to help her extend that. Like you're looking at Chicago being like, "Hey, let's get you number 6, girl. Like let's stay after this." I do want to get some quick hitters from around the league, real quick about the weekend that was. Gotham lost to San Diego, and that's a huge win for San Diego, dude. At Gotham, Portland put 4 on Houston. That's a crazy score line. Something, you know, North Carolina got it done against Chicago, big whoop. Hell of a game against Washington and Utah, a 3-3 draw. Like that.
I watched that bad boy. That was.
Did you?
Yeah, CC Kaiser had 2 goals, man. For Utah. Yeah, that was really cool.
Good for her, because she's been with like 19 teams so far. It's just passing her around the league, it feels. It's weird, but good. I'm glad she scored.
And Washington scored at the very end, too. So,
yeah,
you know, it almost felt like Utah was going to pull away with that victory, but Washington was coming on really strong at the end.
That feels like a loss for Utah, but when you're at home, Washington, that's, you know, you salvage something there. Bay got back into the win column after their Mother's Day loss against us. They beat Angel City 2-0.
It was kind of a weird result. I really didn't expect that one, to be honest.
Yeah, same. I will say some matchups looking ahead. Seattle and Washington is interesting to me. Those are 2 teams that are trying to find their identity, find their way up the table. Utah, after scoring 3 goals, now have to host Orlando, who's just going to be mad and probably thrash Utah.
Right.
But Utah, knowing that they can score goals like that, that's an interesting one to watch. I don't know.
Maybe Kaiser's going to get more minutes or get more, like, you know, more of an impact in that offense. And
I never count Utah out, dude. It's Mormon country. They got God on their side. Like we don't. You can't count them out, man. That's the spiritual shit. But in addition to, in addition to our game, obviously always going to be up for our game, the main one that like pops to me as like an interesting one is that Seattle-Washington game.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see it. I mean, Washington's 5th and Seattle's 6th. You know, Seattle's kind of on a good streak right now. They're playing really well. They got good form. And Washington is they've had a lot of injuries. I think they're getting a little healthier outside of Trinity Rodman. But that should be a really good game. One I'm looking forward to, by the way, is let's see here, San Diego and North Carolina.
Okay.
That's
interesting.
North Carolina, they're one of those teams that they could lose to anybody or they could beat anybody. It's very, very odd how that kind of works out for them, but I could see that being a good game. Maybe a draw.
San Diego finds himself in a precarious situation up there in second place. You know, maybe they don't hold on to that after this weekend. It'll be interesting. One thing that is for sure, though, we'll be first place after this weekend, no matter what happens. And that feels good. We could lose, draw, win. It does not matter. Would like to win, though. So let's get that done.
Yeah.
One thing we didn't mention, dude, Chawinga had 5th goal of the season, by the way, but it's her 25th in NWSL regular season play, which sets a league record for fastest to reach that milestone.
That's wild.
It's amazing. And I'm not really surprised because, like, after last year, it's like, God dang, this woman scores goals. But to keep it going and to reach that, and they showed the list of people. I mean, it's significantly faster than the last person to do it. So it's not we got ourselves a phenomenon, dude. She's a soccer prodigy, bro. It's amazing to see her work. I will say, unlike the KC Current game on Friday, we should probably not do an extra 12 minutes. I can hear us coming to the end here. Do you have anything else you need to talk about?
No, I'm good. I'm just looking forward to the game.
There you go. My goodness. Hopefully we get another victory action going on. Very excited. Saturday night, 6:30 on the Ion Network. You watch that on what? Tubi? Pluto?
I think I have a streaming service, but also Roku.
Yes.
Roku as well.
Your Roku situation. Good deal. Well, folks, thank you for being here. This was awesome. Hopefully we're doing the same thing next week with as much excitement as possible. If you can, leave us a 5-star rating and review, Apple Pods, Spotify, wherever. Email us, nootherpod@gmail.com. Socials, @nootherpod, @Dan Kooser, @Chris Wright 21. And we will just talk to you next week. So for Chris, I'm Daniel. We love you. See ya.